pull up a chair. Hold your coffee close, let it warm your hands. Tonight I want to talk about something that's rarely discussed openly, even though almost every man has felt it at some point, ever been completely broken inside, but still put on a calm face for everyone around you. You're exhausted, you want to cry, you want to talk to someone, but there's a voice in your head that says, don't be dramatic. Men are supposed to be strong. You can't look weak. So you swallow it all down. You smile in front of your family, stay strong for your partner, act fine around your friends, but the moment you're alone, your mind is loud and there's nowhere to let any of it out. We're not going to treat this as just a complaint. We're going to break it down through history, science, psychology, and some data that's honestly pretty alarming. Get comfortable. Let's find out. Why does life feel this heavy for so many men? Part 1. An inherited role from the past. For as long as we can trace back across almost every culture, men were raised for one core role, protector and provider. From hunting in the wild to clocking into an office today, the script hasn't changed much. Men are supposed to be the strong ones, the unshakable ones, the ones who never show fear. The problem is, this role gets drilled in from childhood, not as a choice but through constant quiet social pressure. Boys don't cry. Be brave. Don't be such a baby about it. These phrases sound harmless on their own, but the effect compounds over a lifetime. Boys are trained to suppress emotion early on, even though, biologically, the male and female brain have the same capacity to feel sadness, fear, or anxiety. The only real difference is that boys are taught not to show it. Over time, this stops being just not showing it. Men genuinely start losing the ability to recognize their own emotions. Part 2. When emotions get locked away. Too long. In psychology, there's a term for this, alexithymia. Difficulty identifying, understanding and expressing one's own emotions. It's not that men don't have feelings. It's that many men lose access to their own feelings after years of being trained to bury them. And this isn't just a psychological issue. The data backs it up and it's serious. According to the World Health Organization, globally, the suicide death rate among men is roughly twice as high as among women, about 12.6 per 100,000 men, compared to 5.4 per 100,000 women. In many countries, the overwhelming majority of recorded suicide deaths are men. Here's the ironic part. Women statistically report suicidal thoughts and attempts more often, but when men reach that breaking point, they tend to choose far more lethal methods and rarely ask for help beforehand. Why? Because men are conditioned to hold everything in until the very last moment. Not because they're suffering less, but because they were never given the space to say, I'm not okay earlier. Part 3, alone in the middle of responsibility. But things are changing now, right? People talk about men's mental health more these days. True, but there's another trap that often gets overlooked. Many men simply don't have a healthy support system to talk through personal struggles. Once a lot of men hit the career, marriage, kids phase of life, their circle of close friends quietly shrinks. Conversations with friends stay in safe territory. Work, hobbies, sports, but rarely go deeper into fear, fatigue or emotional pain. Meanwhile, the expectations keep stacking up. Be the breadwinner, stay financially stable, be the rock for your partner and your kids. All of that weight gets carried, but there's no space left to recharge emotionally. This is what leaves so many men feeling isolated in the middle of their own responsibilities, surrounded by the people they love and provide for, yet without a single person they feel they can lean on in return. Part 4. What real strength looks like. Here's something worth straightening out. Real strength isn't about never breaking. Real strength is having the courage to say, I'm not okay right now, without feeling like that makes you any less of a man. The strongest people I know aren't the ones who hold everything in until it eventually shatters, or worse, until there's no time left to fix it. They're the ones brave enough to be vulnerable with the right person. Part 5. Setting the weight down, even for a moment. So, why does life feel so heavy for men? It's not because men are naturally built to carry everything alone. It's because from childhood they were taught to believe that, and no one ever taught them how to set that weight down for a moment before it eventually crushes them. If you're a man listening to this right now and you feel exhausted from carrying everything by yourself, that's not weakness, that's human. You're allowed to be tired. You're allowed to admit you're not okay. You're allowed to ask for help, whether that's a friend, family, or a professional. And if you know a man you care about, a father, a husband, a son, a friend, try asking deeper than just, "Are you okay?" Ask and actually listen to the answer. Because in the end, being strong doesn't mean carrying everything alone. Being strong is knowing when to stop and letting someone else help carry the weight with you. Finish your coffee, and if tonight you're the one carrying it all by yourself, remember, you don't always have to be strong. You just have to be honest. Sleep well, my friend. See you in the next cup of coffee.